So those were the headlines. Let's now go beyond the phenomenon, which is, of course, Ghibli. You can pronounce it Ghibli, based on whether you call it Japanese or Italian. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you use Instagram, if you use ChatGPT or AI in any form, then chances are you would have become a fan of this trend. This is the magic of the Ghibli art. It's everywhere, transforming everyday faces into soft watercolor dreams reminiscent of a hand-painted masterpiece. For a fleeting moment, it captivates us, a visual delight that feels as if it is straight out of a cherished Japanese anime. It has taken the world by storm, which is why today you can't scroll through your social media feed for more than 10 seconds without stumbling upon charming, cartoonish renditions of a film, a celebrity, iconic Bollywood scenes, as you can see here, or even our own Prime Minister. But here's the twist. Beneath that enchanting veneer lies a complex and a painful truth. Studio Ghibli was founded in Tokyo by visionaries such as Toshio Suzuki, Isao Takahata, and Hayao Miyazaki. They have been the heartbeat of this Japanese animation for decades. Their art aren't just images on paper, it's a legacy built from painstaking hand-drawn frames, each stroke of watercolor a testament to years of dedication. So when we ask AI, maybe ChatGPT or Grok, to mimic that iconic style without the blessing of the artist, we are not just playing with filters, we are crossing a line. It is nothing but artistic plagiarism that infringes on the intellectual property rights of these fine gentlemen, these artists, devalues their tireless creative labor, and risks eroding a cultural heritage that many hold dear. And if you have any doubts about what the founders actually feel about this, listen to what one of the founders, Hayao Miyazaki, said when a group of designers and animators had presented an AI-generated image to him way back in 2016.
不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
And it doesn't stop at that. Every time AI generates a Ghibli-inspired image, it's not just a tribute, it's a power-hungry process. Now, we have already discussed on this show before with me about the energy consumption and the damage to the environment AI does, but this is taking it a step further. Standard queries to your ChatGPT or Grok may nibble at energy consumption, but replicating that intricate style burns 10 times as much as power and requires 10 times as much as water to cool it down. Multiply that by the millions of images that we have seen people across the world using it for the last several days, and you see a troubling environmental cost that lurks behind the fun and beauty and the cute, oh so cute and oh so nice photographs that everyone's been enthralled by. And this, even the founders of ChatGPT know that. Even OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has raised alarms about the strain on hardware and resources, pleading for a moment of restraint in a digital constraint frenzy. Now, here's what we will end this introduction with. Picture the labor behind us. You see this very intricate frame. It's a 4-second clip. This took 15 months because the people who designed this clip did not want animation or any sort of CGI to be used. They made every frame 60,000 to 70,000 frames over 15 months, and then they made it animated. It's like you see those books that you flutter through to form a moving picture. That's what they did. It took 15 months. On AI, it can be done in 2 seconds. And you won't even give the credit to them. When AI reduces such deep, emotive work to a mere algorithmic filter, are we truly honoring art? Are we allowing technology to cheapen a legacy? For instance, this still of Ye Jawani Ye Diwani. If I have to take an image of this film and I have to put it on a screen, I have to give a copyright to the production house. With these, I don't have to because they don't own these images. AI owns these images, and who owns AI, we don't know. In a rush to embrace the convenience and the novelty of AI, we are inadvertently stealing styles, the spirit of genuine creativity, and we are creating a damn big impact on the environment at that. So on those sobering note, let me go across to my guests who are joining me at this point. I'm being joined by Rahul Bajaj, CEO of Digital Darwin. He's also someone who's helped me and my viewers on this show understand and try and make sense of AI for the past several months now. We also have Asim Trivedi, who is one of India's most noted cartoonists, who's joining us. We have Utpal Khot, who is a social media strategist and an influencer as well. And we have Bhavreen Kandahari, who's a noted environmentalist. She's also a member of My Right to Breathe. Thank you all for joining me. We have stakeholders representing every end of the spectrum. Let me start with you, Utpal. Can I ask if you yourself have been victim to this craze of coming up with Ghibli AI at this point? Most people still don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, have you tried using it in the past and have you come across? And while using it, let's be honest, have you ever thought about about these deeper questions as to whether you are infringing upon someone's artistic creativity or artistic copyright, or something like even the damage it does to the environment? These are questions which don't really come to our mind, do they?
First of all, thank you, Ritangshu, for inviting me over. And yes, I have definitely explored and checked the AI. And as you rightly said, people are still curious about pronouncing this. Some people pronounce it as Ghibli, some are saying Ghibli. So just for all the viewers to understand, it is Ghibli, wherein that G, that emphasis has to be on the G. So it's Ghibli. So this is Studio Ghibli art form, which AI tries to, imitate or recreate. And I come with a very positive, view when it comes to this. While what you said is right, that yes, it is a kind of, crossing a line. But at the same time, we have to understand that artificial intelligence is something which we have created as a tool to assist a human being. It will never have that human touch. But at the same time, it will help the human to reduce his or her efforts. Like you rightly said, 1 4-second clip took about 15 months. Imagine if the artist would have taken help of a AI tool, he would have probably saved those months and probably used his creativity into creating something more. So that is where I feel that AI comes in picture, and any artist, any creator who is using AI effectively can use it as a tool, wherein I can assure you that no AI ever will be able to overpower human emotions. It will not be able to give you the same kind of human touch, human feel, or the art of storytelling which a human could do. It will assist you. It will never be able to go ahead of you. So we should not look at AI in terms of a curse always. It can be used as a boon if we take it in the right frame, if we use it in the correct manner. And yes, many people are using Ghibli as of now, if you see over the last few days. And unlike most trends which come on Instagram, this is again a trend which will eventually die down. It will be there for 10-15 days, then the craze will reduce, and automatically people have other things to do. There are other trends which will come up. So this is just a trend. So it's not here to stay forever. Or I know we are discussing other aspects also in terms of environment and other things, but I think this is temporary phase. This will be there for probably another 10 days, after which some new trend will come and this will slow down, the pace will go down and people will find something new. So we don't have to worry so much about it. Yes, these 8-10 days, 15 days could be crucial because a lot of people are using this.
So you're saying that this is just a trend that will go for 8 to 10 days. We don't need to take it so seriously, and we don't need to. It's something just meant for entertainment. It's something just meant to bring a smile to everyone's views. Asim Trivedi, do you share this opinion? You are a very famous cartoonist. Do you feel that images like these are actually paying tribute to the masters, or do you feel that this is just a form of intellectual or creativity theft that's happening?
अगर देखा जाए तो हमने साइंस को ऐसे ही इस्तेमाल किया है पूरे ह्यूमन काइंड के इवोल्यूशन में कि हमने अपने रेप्लिकास तैयार करने की कोशिश की है, और बहुत सारी मशीन्स यही करती हैं कि बहुत सारे इंसानों का काम घटाती हैं। इससे बेरोजगारी आती है, बहुत चीज़ें होती हैं, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन होता है, उसकी अपनी कमी है। हम शायद उसे और आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं कि हम इंटेलेक्ट को भी अब कॉपी कर रहे हैं, रेप्लिकेट कर रहे हैं। इसकी अपनी समस्याएं होंगी, मगर जैसे जब मैं आर्ट के बारे में सोचता हूँ, ये बात अच्छी है कि हम रेप्लिकेट कर सकते हैं, एंटरटेन कर सकते हैं, बहुत बढ़िया है। दर्जनों इमेजेस, मतलब शायद थाउजेंड्स इमेजेस हर मिनट बनाई जा रही होंगी जब ये ट्रेंड अभी चल रहा था। पर मैं सोचता हूँ तो मुझे एक फिल्म याद आती है, डेड पोएट सोसाइटी। तो डेड पोएट सोसाइटी में वो बात करते हैं, जो उसमें टीचर है कीटिंग, वो बात करते हैं रॉबिन विलियम्स की आर्ट क्या है। वो आर्ट्स को समझाने की कोशिश करते हैं कि आर्ट्स असल में कुछ कॉपी करना नहीं है, उसका कुछ ग्रामर नहीं है कि आप कुछ कॉपी कर लेंगे, कुछ पैटर्न और आर्ट क्रिएट कर लेंगे। आर्ट इस बारे में है कि आप अपने यूनिक एक्सपीरियंसेस से गुजरते हैं। वो कहते हैं सीड द डे कॉर्पोरेट टाइम, कि आप जीवन जीते हैं और उसे समझते हैं और अपने बहुत ओरिजिनल और यूनिक एक्सपीरियंसेस के साथ सामने आते हैं। आर्ट तो वो है जो कि सिस्टम को तोड़ती है, पैटर्न्स को ब्रेक करती है, वो बाय नेचर ही रेबेलियस है। वो ये नहीं है कि आपने बस एक मोटे तौर पे एक मशीन बना दी जो समझ लेती है कि लोग कैसे आर्ट्स करते हैं, कैसे कहानियां लिखते हैं, और हाँ वो भी एआई से गाना लिख देंगे, कहानी लिख देंगे, ड्राइंग बना देंगे। मेरे ख्याल से ये कुछ भी है पर आर्ट नहीं है। अच्छी बात है कि एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए बहुत सारे तरीके आजकल इस्तेमाल होते हैं, उसमें से एक और तरीका ये हो सकता है, पर क्या ये आर्ट है? बिल्कुल नहीं। आर्ट ये है कि जो एक ओरिजिनल अप्रोच के साथ आती है, एक्सपीरियंसेस से आती है, एक पर्पस सर्व करती है, उसका एक ओपिनियन है, उसका एक स्टैंड है, और वो एक मशीनी प्रक्रिया नहीं है। इसे कॉपी नहीं किया जा सकता। बिना जिए पोएट्री नहीं लिखी जा सकती, बिना जीवन को जिए आर्ट नहीं की जा सकती। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये कुछ भी है पर आर्ट नहीं है, इसे आर्ट नहीं कहा जा सकता।
बट असीम जी, इसको इतना सीरियसली लेने की जरूरत है? हम जो भी, अगर मैं इमेज बना रहा हूँ अगर चैट जीपीटी पर, मैं अपने आप को आर्टिस्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं बस एक फोटो जनरेट करवा रहा हूँ। जैसे हम लोग इंस्टाग्राम पर फिल्टर यूज करते हैं, वो भी तो सच्चाई को छुपाने होती है किसी तरीके से, वो भी तो ऑनेस्टी होती है। फिल्टर की जगह पर एक नया फर्म वर्जन कर दिया। इंस्टाग्राम पर इतने सारे फिल्टर्स है, इतने सारे स्नैपचैट पर फिल्टर्स है, तो ये आर्ट तो ब्लर हो ही रहा है ना। तो कोई बोल भी नहीं रहा कि हम आर्टिस्ट है।
हाँ, मुझे लगता है कि फिर कोई बात नहीं है, फिर तो बहुत तरह का एंटरटेनमेंट है, लोग कर रहे हैं उस तरीके से, ये भी निकल के आ रहा है। लेकिन इसके जो और नुकसान है वो ये हैं कि बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट अपना जॉब लूज कर रहे हैं। आप देखेंगे 30-35% के कुछ आंकड़े हैं कि इतने आर्टिस्ट ने अपना जॉब लूज किया है ऑलरेडी, या इस तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं, चीजें बदल रही हैं। जैसे आप ही बता रहे थे कि इतने सारे आर्टिस्ट ने मिलकर इस क्लिप को बनाया और वो कुछ सेकेंड्स में बन सकता है। तो वो सारे लोग जो ये काम कर रहे थे, उनके जॉब्स कहाँ जाएंगे, उनकी नौकरियां कहाँ जाएंगी, उनका पूरा इकोनॉमिक्स कहाँ जाने वाला है। तो ऑफकोर्स हम चीजों को मल्टीपोल कर, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो इस बारे में बात करते रहे कि इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन के खिलाफ।
I think there is a simpler way to put it. Asim, I agree with you, and let me bring in Utpal here, and after that I will go to Bhavreen. If I can have both Utpal and Asim on screen. Utpal, a simple example I'll give, and I think Asim will also agree with me. We are all, maybe Mr. Miyazaki's art is not very well known to all of us, so it doesn't impact a lot of us when we choose to copy something like that. But imagine if tomorrow there is a feature which comes out to replicate cartoons the way R.K. Lakshman did it. We've all grown up seeing the common man. We've all seen up knowing his very distinctive form of art imagery. And somehow if we can tomorrow all try and come up with art which represents R.K. Lakshman, will it not hurt us a bit that, you know, people are not realizing the talent and the sheer genius of someone like R.K. Lakshman without mindlessly replicating it? It has to pay tribute to the original. And we generate these images. Neither are we giving credit to the people, to the real life photos who took them, nor are we giving credit to the person who's created this art form. So isn't it theft of one person's talent or one person's creativity?
I call it as theft, but yes, what you said is right, and I think the onus lies on a platform like Instagram or probably ChatGPT to put it as a default this thing, you know, कि अगर आप ये स्टूडियो जिबली का अगर आप कुछ बना रहे हो तो by default the credit goes to the founders or the Studio Ghibli. So automatically then the creator, the influencer doesn't have to, you know, mention it every time. By default it comes as a signature that, you know, inspired by or credits given to, you know, that way. And while I'm saying this, let me tell you, जो Instagram पे अभी फिलहाल दिख रहा है, हजारों लाखों की तादाद में जो लोग डाल रहे हैं ये वाले पिक्चर्स, दैट इज प्योरली फैसिनेशन। मैं कैसे दिखूंगा, यू नो, इन अ कॉमिक क्रिएचर फॉर्म, तो उस हिसाब से डाल रहे हैं। देयर इज नो वे दैट दे आर ट्राइंग टू कॉपी और टेक अवे द क्रेडिट ऑफ द ओरिजिनल क्रिएटर, वैसा कुछ नहीं है। लाइक आई सेड, इट्स प्योरली अ ट्रेंड। एंड सिंपल बात ये होती है ना कि शोले जैसी फिल्म एक ही टाइम बनती है, उसका रीमेक करने की कोशिश करो तो रामगढ़ के शोले ही बनने वाला है, शोले नहीं बनेगा। तो दैट्स हाउ इट इज। ओरिजिनल क्रिएटर विल ऑलवेज, since 85 they have been creating films, animations, and those are legendary, you know, those are legendary. No one can imitate them, no one can take the credit away from them. The artist will remain as the artist, and we can only be, you know, using this chat GPT as a tool to probably mimic them or take some of their art form and put it as a entertaining story which is going to last for 3, 4 or 5 seconds on Instagram. That's it.
Okay, Rahul, come in here. At the end of the day, one of the main reasons why people look up to AI or embrace AI is that it makes the world a lot more accessible. In this case, it has made art, it has brought our imagination to light. It has made a new complete form of art genre which someone like you or me could never replicate by hand, a bit more accessible. So is that then an acceptable price to pay for the troubling questions that then linger on over artistic, intellectual creativity or intellectual ownership? We'll come to the ecological aspect later, but do you think it's something that is inevitable, that AI will open up the world, make it a lot more accessible to people, and that will come at the cost of ownership or initiation or any form of ideological patent?
So, Ritangshu, what we have to look at is that what is patentable or what is copyrightable here. The style cannot be copyrighted, right? The characters can. So when you say R.K. Lakshman's common man, you can never recreate that particular common man image because that could be copyrighted. But that style of imaging can always be recreated, can always be done. That can be the artists are always influenced, they are always inspired by other artists in creating their forms as well. So recreating in that particular style is something there which by law, by copyright laws, you can't stop it. Of course, you cannot recreate a particular character that may have been used by the original creator, because then that is the copyright of that particular character. Now, the question also is that there is a lot of frenzy about how the Ghiblis have been used. But remember, we always had the pencil drawing kind of AI solutions where you could upload your image and you could get a pencil drawing of that particular or a sketch of that particular image. Now, that is again something which an artist could do. And this is again AI probably using a style of creating an art and then recreating it on the image that you have shared with the AI. So it's a style which has been copied in creating Ghibli. If the style is not copyrightable, then it is in that particular gray zone where, of course, OpenAI can use it. But also remember when Walt Disney started creating the animations, each of those particular frames were drawn with hand. For the Mickey Mouse or Minnie or the Donald Ducks. Today, all of that is done through animation by Pixel, and it has evolved much more, and it has not made animation movies any less popular. In fact, they are grossing much more.
No, but Rahul, that's a difference. I mean, I can't. It's like, for instance, if Walt Disney has the right to take up characters which it created, as you pointed out, which are very easily copyrightable, use a style which it has innovated, even though it might not have copyrighted, and use technology to make its own work easier. But that doesn't mean that I can tomorrow take up pictures and paintings and photos of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and animate them using AI and then say this is my film, and Walt Disney has no right over it.
Which is absolutely right. You're right, because then those particular characters are something which have been copyrighted by Disney. You can't even, in fact, when we see.
But the style has not been. Isn't that problematic?
No. So if the Disney character has been converted into a Ghibli, then that definitely is something which will fall under the copyright violation, because that's a character which has been copyrighted.
Okay. All right. There are very troubling questions. I think the clear point is that AI is such an unknown realm that every day we're finding these new moral challenges as to what is acceptable, what we not, and that's only going to be the trend going forward. Perhaps the most important moral conundrum, which don't think anyone even thinks about, Bhavri Kandhari, come in here, is the environmental impact. Now, in general, a base version of ChatGPT, GPT-3, uses as much energy, servers which use that uses as much energy as consumed by 120 homes. It has a carbon footprint of a single AI model has a carbon footprint that is equal to that produced by 5 cars over their lifetimes. The amount of water that is used to cool these mammoth servers are immense. The 5 billion liters of water were used by Google's data centers in 2022. This is for versions of AI that we have stopped using already. One can only imagine the amount of energy being used, and AI has been admitting it, Sam Altman has been saying it, that the servers are literally on fire. Is that not something that we need to keep in mind? AI is supposed to help us, supposed to assist us, make our life be a lot easier, but this is pure and open entertainment and with reckless consequences.
Absolutely. Actually, you've said it all. There's nothing for me to say now because that is true. A single chat GPT request when we, when we ask for that, it consumes 10 times the electricity. I mean, this is also I've learned, in the past few months only that so every time even one single request you give, that you're spending 10 times the amount of electricity which you will do in some, a regular, very traditional Google search or something. So I think this itself is an eye-opener, and how is it that while we are talking about carbon footprints, we're talking about consumption, etc., we are just ignoring the energy consumption, the water consumption, like you said. There's a huge amount of water that's being used for cooling, So these resources are so important as of now that as much as I'm very convinced on the ethical and legal implications, definitely any work without credits being shown is absolutely plagiarism to me. It's no question of that. Whether an artist is a well-known or it's a Disney, or whether it's a it's a small small-time artist, there is the credits have to be there. There is no question of not giving credits, because that itself is you're stealing art, and in that sense. But all this, and
no,
this
Bhavri,
is
if we can just bring the focus,
you just.
Bhavri, if I can just bring the focus back on the environmental aspect here, because which is why we need...
aside the argument.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Of course. So exactly, you've said it all. I mean, that's what I'm saying, that you've said it all. There is a huge amount of energy, huge amount of water consumption, and in times when we are actually dealing with this.
So my point is, where do we start the fight? We are still at a point where even to understand, even for the world to understand the importance of fossil fuel pollution, it's a losing battle given how political the climate is at this point. How do we even start the war to making the world understand the impact of AI or the AI pollution, or what the carbon footprint of AI? Because let's be honest, this is something that is going to be unavoidable. Today, these are images which have been generated. In a few months, if not in a few weeks, AI will reach the ability where it can generate full-fledged films using someone's life. And we all know entertainment is something everyone is going to jump onto it. Where do we start this fight, or is it already a losing cause in terms of trying to make people and AI corporations aware of the need to be sustainable in using artificial intelligence?
No, this has been said, but actually the problem is that things like these are so attractive. They are so easy for people to start doing. And now, like we're talking about Instagram, etc. The youth, you see everybody is pretty much on the phone all the time, and it's an attraction. So it's very difficult to keep people understand. How many of us know this? Not many people know that every time you're clicking, you should feel guilty about even giving one command on the chat GPT, but that doesn't happen. I mean, we are not even talking about when you're cutting 600 trees somewhere, or you are actually wasting water, you're doing those, various, in your own community, etc. You're seeing water is being wasted, but one doesn't realize the huge amount of resources that we are wasting in, this artificial intelligence, or even other various other things. So this is going to come only with, when leaders...
I think the one clear way to start off is
corporate leaders,
something which is...
They will have to lead in these conversations.
Yeah, I think something which is, for instance, something which is very easy Googleable, if I can use that word, something which you can find on Google, you don't need to find it on ChatGPT. Burns a lot more energy. Rahul, very quickly,
Absolutely.
is there a meeting point we can have
Absolutely.
here? Because this is going to be a challenge the world has to look at for. It's not a pan-India solution at this point, but it is inevitable. As technology increases, it's going to be the shiny new toy in everyone's hands. Can we ever look at finding it sustainable, or it's something that will only come once we realize how much we've abused it?
Ritanshu, if we look at, then I think stonemen were the most eco-friendly, probably people, if we could put it that way. Steam engines came, and probably that is something where the ecology started getting disturbed. But did it bring a revolution? Yes, it did. Did the lives become better? Yes, they did. And so each of the new innovations and evolutions have changed lives for better. Yes, they have disturbed the ecology, but initially, earlier in those particular periods, no one even knew that there is something where an environmental balance has to be looked at. Today, there is awareness. We are talking about this as we are working on the on our on the AI improvement journey, or in looking at how the future would shape up. So there is awareness. There are the right kind of people like Bhavriji who are challenging these organizations like ours who are working on AI and making sure that we are also aware of our responsibilities towards the environment. So that cut down
Okay.
would have to happen. The source of energy is gonna be something which is going to be looked at. If these are greener sources of energy, then there is nothing wrong in using more volumes of energy. So what kind of energy we are using is going to be important. And definitely, as AI moves and
Okay.
improves and the consumption increases, greener sources of energy would have to be used. And that is something which I'm very optimistic that
Okay.
would be happening.
Okay, so let's continue on that spirit of optimism, and we'll probably end it with Azim Trivedi. Azim, I think आपके पास लास्ट वर्ड के लिए आ रहे हैं बिकॉज समय समाप्ति पर आ चुकी है. एक बात तो कहनी पड़ेगी कि मियाजाकी साहब जिन्होंने ये पूरा जिबली फॉर्म बनाया है, फाइन, शायद 100 लोग में से एक लोग इनको बारे में रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी जान रहे हैं कि ये किसने बनाया है, किसका स्टाइल है, रीड अप कर रहे हैं कि करना चाहिए कि नहीं. But at the end of the day, more people still know about this art form and who created it compared to what before this became a big fashion trend. Do you feel that at least उस basis पे एक positive है कि artists are getting the recognition, perhaps proportionate नहीं है, but it is inevitable, technology के साथ चलता रहता है और as a result ultimately awareness बढ़ी जाएगी लोगों में.
हाँ, ऐसा भी है कि अगर देखा जाए तो वो आर्ट लोगों तक पहुंच रही है और लोग ज़्यादा आर्ट को कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं. बशर्ते यहाँ पे ये मानना पड़ेगा कि ये आर्ट उस स्टैंडर्ड की नहीं है, वैसे नहीं है, बस रेप्लिकास है, रेप्लिकेशंस हैं, एक पैटर्न को बस कॉपी करते रहना है और ये आर्ट होती नहीं है. और साथ में इसका नुकसान ये होगा कि बहुत सारे जेन्युइन आर्टिस्ट जो आर्ट को सीखते हैं, उस पर काम करते हैं, क्योंकि आर्ट को आप एक स्किल्ड प्रोफेशन की तरह देखते हैं कि आप एक एक्सपीरियंस से गुजरते हैं, बहुत सारा कुछ सीखते हैं. मेरे ख्याल से उनको उतना उसके बदले में जो मिलता है वो और भी घटता जाएगा. इंडिया जैसे देश की बात करें जहाँ आर्टिस्ट पहले ही स्ट्रगल करते हैं, क्या उनके स्ट्रगल को और नहीं बढ़ा देगा? तो हमें देखना चाहिए कि बहुत सारी इकोनॉमिक्स उनकी प्रभावित हो गई. जो बहुत सारे आर्ट स्टूडेंट्स हैं, अभी आर्ट कॉलेजेस में होंगे, उनका फ्यूचर बहुत बदल सकता है जब तक वो पढ़ के निकलेंगे. कितना इसको बचेगा, कितना नहीं बचेगा. दूसरी बात है कि आर्ट की ओरिजिनलिटी मुझे लगता है निश्चित रूप से कंप्रोमाइज होने वाली है और आर्ट बहुत ही रेगुलर चीज बनने वाली है. हमें कुछ तो चाहिए होगा बहुत ओरिजिनल और बहुत आर्ट जैसा, जिसे हम आर्ट कहते आए, लिटरेचर कहते आए, म्यूजिक कहते आए. देखना होगा कि ये कितना बदलेगा.
देखना पड़ेगा, and whether it becomes accessible, does it dilute it necessarily? That is a big question at this point. But this is a fascinating trend, as Utpal rightly pointed out. This will probably die down in 1 week, and we'll find something else to come up with. But it is certain that AI will continuously to pose these challenging questions to us, and we have to find out answers to this. And again, we have to at some point find out what is a responsible use of AI. It is such an uncharted territory that we don't know what are the ethics of AI. We have to find out a way in which we can use AI sustainably and ethically. But because it is inevitable, and we can't do away without it. But thank you so much. I hope everyone's enjoyed the Ghibli images, but at least people who've tuned into the show understand the concerns and the deeper truth behind it. Thank you so much, Rahul Bajaj, Asim Trivedi, Utpal Kot, and also Bhavleen for joining us with your views on what has been a very fun and an engaging topic. With that, it's time for a short break. And more news and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned to Miranda.